DP-700 has a 40% failure rate, but in this video, you'll see the exact pattern of questions. I'll walk you through real questions so you pass on your first try. Let's go.
Question 1. You have a Fabric workspace. You have semi-structured data. You need to read the data by using T-SQL, KQL, and Apache Spark. The data will only be written by using Spark. What should you use to store the data? Your options are a Lakehouse, B an Eventhouse, C a data mart, D a warehouse. Pause the video and choose your answer. The correct answer is A Lakehouse. Why this is a correct answer? A lakehouse is designed to store semi-structured data, such as JSON, CSV, and Parquet, and supports Apache Spark for writing data. It also allows the same data to be accessed using T-SQL via the SQL Analytics endpoint and integrated with KQL, making it the best choice for this scenario.
Question number 2. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. You have an on-premises Microsoft SQL Server database named Database 1 that is accessed by using an on-premises data gateway. You need to copy data from Database 1 to Warehouse 1. Which item should you use? Your options are A. A Dataflow Gen 1 data flow. B. A data pipeline. C. A KQL query. Set. D. A notebook. Pause the video and choose your answer. The correct answer is B. A data pipeline. I will tell you why data pipeline. A data pipeline is the recommended Fabric item for copying data from an on-premises SQL server to a Fabric warehouse. It supports copy data activities and can connect to on-premises sources using an on-premises data gateway. Whenever you see copy data plus on-premises data gateway, the correct answer is usually data pipeline. Question number 3. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a notebook named Notebook 1. In Workspace 1, you create a new notebook named Notebook 2. You need to ensure that you can attach Notebook 2 to the same Apache Spark session as Notebook 1. What should you do? Your options are A. Enable high concurrency for notebooks. B. Enable dynamic allocation for the Spark pool. C. Change the runtime version. D. Increase the number of executors. Pause the video and choose the correct answer. The correct answer is A. Enable high concurrency for notebooks. I will tell you why. High concurrency allows multiple notebooks to share the same Apache Spark session, reducing startup time and improving resource utilization. By enabling this feature, Notebook 2 can attach to the same Spark session already being used by Notebook 1. If the question mentions sharing the same Spark session between notebooks, think high concurrency. Question number 4. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a Lakehouse named Lakehouse 1. Lakehouse 1 contains the following tables: orders, customer, employee. The employee table contains personally identifiable information, PII. A data engineer is building a workflow that requires writing data to the customer table. However, the user does not have the elevated permissions required to view the contents of the employee table. You need to ensure that the data engineer can write data to the customer table without reading data from the employee table. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Your options are A. Share Lakehouse 1 with the data engineer. B. Assign the data engineer the contributor role for Workspace 2. C. Assign the data engineer the viewer role for Workspace 2. D. Assign the data engineer the contributor role for Workspace 1. E. Migrate the employee table from Lakehouse 1 to Lakehouse 2. F. Create a new workspace named Workspace 2 that contains a new Lakehouse named Lakehouse 2. G. Assign the data engineer the viewer role for Workspace 1. Pause the video and choose the correct answer. The correct answers are D. Assign the data engineer the contributor role for Workspace 1. E. Migrate the employee table from Lakehouse 1 to Lakehouse 2. F. Create a new workspace named Workspace 2 that contains a new Lakehouse named Lakehouse 2. I will tell you why these are the correct choices. D. Assign the data engineer the contributor role for Workspace 1. The contributor role allows the data engineer to write data to the customer table and work with items in Workspace 1. E. Migrate the employee table from Lakehouse 1 to Lakehouse 2. Since the employee table contains PII, moving it to a separate Lakehouse isolates the sensitive data and prevents unauthorized access. F. Create a new workspace, Workspace 2, with a new Lakehouse. Lakehouse 2. Creating a separate workspace and Lakehouse provides security isolation for the employee table. Only authorized users can be granted access to Workspace 2 while the data engineer continues working in Workspace 1 without being able to view the PII data. Question number 5. You have a fabric warehouse named DW1. DW1 contains a table that stores sales data and is used by multiple sales representatives. You plan to implement row-level security, RLS. You need to ensure that the sales representatives can see only their respective data. Which warehouse object do you require to implement RLS? Your options are A. Stored procedure, B. Constraint, C. Schema, D. Function. Pause the video and choose your answer. The correct answer is D. Function. I will tell you why. Row-level security, RLS, in a fabric warehouse is implemented using an inline table-valued function that defines the filtering logic based on the current user. This function is then applied through a security policy to ensure each sales representative can only view their own data. If a DP-700 question asks about the object required to implement RLS, the answer is function. Question number 6. You have a fabric deployment pipeline that uses 3 workspaces named Dev, Test, and Prod. You need to deploy an Eventhouse as part of the deployment process. What should you use to add the Eventhouse to the deployment process? Your options are A. GitHub Actions, B. A deployment pipeline, C. An Azure DevOps pipeline. Pause the video and choose your answer. The correct answer is B. A deployment pipeline. I will tell you why this is correct. A deployment pipeline is Fabric's built-in feature for promoting items such as event houses across dev, test, and prod workspaces. It provides a managed way to deploy supported Fabric items between environments without needing external CI/CD tools. If the question asks how to deploy a Fabric item between dev, test, and prod workspaces, the answer is usually deployment pipeline. Question number 7. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. You plan to deploy Warehouse 1 to a new workspace named Workspace 2. As part of the deployment process, you need to verify whether Warehouse 1 contains invalid references. The solution must minimize development effort. What should you use? Your options are A. A database project, B. A deployment pipeline, C. A Python script, D. A TSQL script. The correct answer is B. A deployment pipeline. I will tell you why. A deployment pipeline is Fabric's built-in feature for promoting items such as event houses across dev, test, and prod workspaces. It provides a managed way to deploy supported Fabric items between environments without needing external CI/CD tools. If the question asks how to deploy a Fabric item between dev, test, and prod workspaces, the answer is usually deployment pipeline. Question number 8. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a Lakehouse named Lakehouse 1. Data is ingested into Lakehouse 1 as one flat table. The table contains the following columns: name and description. See the image is displayed below. You plan to load the data into a dimensional model and implement a star schema. From the original flat table, you create two tables named Fact Sales and Dim Product. You will track changes in Dim Product. You need to prepare the data. Which three columns should you include in the Dim Product table? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. You have following options: A. Date. B. Product name. C. Product color. D. Transaction ID. E. Sales amount. F. Product ID. Pause the video and choose the correct answer. The correct options are B. Product name. C. Product color. F. Product ID. Why these are the correct answers? A dimension table stores descriptive attributes about a business entity. Product ID is the unique business key, while product name and product color are product attributes that can change over time and should be tracked. For example, using a slowly changing dimension. Columns like transaction ID, sales amount, and date belong in the fact sales table because they represent transactional data, not product details. Question number 9. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a real-time intelligence solution and an event house. Users report that from OneLake File Explorer, they cannot see the data from the event house. You enable OneLake availability for the event house. What will be copied to OneLake? Your options are A. Only data added to new databases that are added to the event house. B. Only the existing data in the event house. C. No data. D. Both new data and existing data in the event house. E. Only new data added to the event house. Pause the video and choose the correct answer. The correct answer is E. Only new data added to the event house. I will tell you, why is E? Only new data added to the event house correct? Enabling OneLake availability does not copy existing event house data to OneLake. Only new data ingested after the feature is enabled is continuously written to OneLake, while previously stored data remains only in the event house. Remember this rule. OneLake availability is not retroactive. It starts syncing only future incoming data, so existing historical data is not copied automatically. Question number 10. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1. You plan to integrate Workspace 1 with Azure DevOps. You will use a Fabric deployment pipeline named Deploy Pipeline 1 to deploy items from Workspace 1 to higher environment workspaces as part of a medallion architecture. You will run Deploy Pipeline 1 by using an API call from an Azure DevOps pipeline. You need to configure API authentication between Azure DevOps and Fabric. Which type of authentication should you use? Your options are A. Service Principal. B. Microsoft Entra username and password. C. Managed Private Endpoint. D. Workspace Identity. The correct answer is A. Service Principal. I will tell you why A. Service Principal is the correct one. A service principal is the recommended authentication method for Azure DevOps pipelines because it enables secure, non-interactive API authentication to Microsoft Fabric. It is designed for automation scenarios, unlike usernames/passwords, while managed private endpoint and workspace identity are not used for API authentication from Azure DevOps. If Azure DevOps, CI/CD, REST API, or automation is mentioned, then think service principal.
Comment next 10 below. Once this video reaches 100 comments, I'll upload the next 10 DP-700 practice questions.